What's up everyone, and welcome to part 4 of my complete Blu-ray collection. In this video we're going to finish off the collection, and it's going to be, I believe, Q through the numbers, or Z, whatever you want to call it. Then we have the numbers at the end. So this is going to be the final part of the Blu-ray collection. Make sure you check out the other 3 parts. Those will be in the description. There'll be a playlist. They'll be in the end cards. So make sure you check out those parts if you haven't seen them, if you want to see the complete collection. And without further ado, let's get right into the final part of this collection. Alright, so kicking things off, starting with the P's. I think I said in the beginning that it start with the Q's. We're starting with the P's in this episode. So we have The Patriot, a good Mel Gibson historical movie. Obviously, it's terribly historically inaccurate, but it has some like good battle scenes and stuff. Then we have The Patriots Day, very good kind of Mark Wahlberg modern historical film kind of thing. Pearl Harbor, terrible World War II movie. Do I need to say more? Then we have Pineapple Express, a very good comedy with James Franco, absolutely amazing in this film. Very good stuff. Then we have the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. We have the first one, absolute classic. I absolutely love it. I've loved it since I was a kid. Then we have Dead Man's Chest, possibly my favorite one. I might actually prefer this over the first one. Once again, all 3 of these I've absolutely loved since I was a kid, but Dead Man's Chest is amazing. And then Pirates of the Caribbean: At World's End, definitely the number 3 of the original trilogy. I do wish it was only a trilogy. Definitely it's my third favorite, but I still absolutely love it. It's so epic. I can't believe Disney let them do a 3-hour pirate film. Then we have, this is going to be the Planet of the Apes 9 movie collection. This has all 9 Planet of the Apes movies with the modern 3 on 4K. I like the first movie and I like the last 3. I could pretty much skip all the other ones in the franchise. So that's it. I do enjoy the concept of Planet of the Apes. Then we have Platoon, a good Vietnam War movie. I did think it was possibly a little overrated. I do need to revisit it though. Then we're gonna have Polar Express, one of my favorite Christmas movies, probably the saddest Christmas movie I have ever seen. If you've seen this movie and you actually understand it and its messages, this movie will absolutely tear you up. But I really like Polar Express. It's not perfect, but I really like it. Then Predator, first one's a classic. I don't really like Predator 2, and Predators was pretty fun. Then we have The Prestige, one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies. I think this is my 3rd favorite Christopher Nolan film. I just absolutely love everything in this film, especially the kind of 2 Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman kind of dueling in that movie. It was very fun. Then we have Prisoners. It's been a little while since I've seen this one, but I really did enjoy it. Denis Villeneuve movie. Obviously he's directing Dune, but it had a lot of good moments in there. I really like Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie. Then we have Psycho. Obviously classic Alfred Hitchcock movie. I have only seen, this is the only Alfred Hitchcock movie I've seen as of right now. Classic, obviously, you know, one of the first like slasher horror movies, very good stuff. Then we have Pulp Fiction. This is my favorite Tarantino film by a lot. I absolutely adore this film. Every second of it, I could watch this film all day. It's so good. Definitely, probably my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Easily my favorite Tarantino film. I love it. Then heading right into the Q's, we're going to have A Quiet Place. I absolutely love this film. I love the sequel. I love this franchise. I love what John Krasinski did. Then we're going to have Rain Man, heading into the R's. I think this won Best Picture. I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't like a movie I'd revisit a whole lot, but it was pretty good. Then we have Ralph Breaks the Internet. This is like a Target like super edition of it. I haven't seen Ralph Breaks the Internet. I haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph, but this was like $5, so I bought it. So I guess that's my story on that. Then we have First Blood. I love this film. One of my favorite. If you consider an action movie, it's one of my favorite action movies of all time. But just in general, one of my favorite movies in general. I love it. Stallone is one of my favorite, probably my 2nd favorite actor. It's just a very good time. Then we have this may have been my first Blu-ray. It's really old. It's Rambo First Blood Part 2 and Rambo 3. Rambo First Blood Part 2 is just an awesome 80s action movie. Rambo 3 I did not really like. First Blood Part 2 is an amazing movie. And then we have Red Dawn. I didn't really get into this movie. I like the concept. I just don't think it's all that good. Then we get Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino's first movie. I love it. It's, you know, Tarantino. All of his movies are good, and this one is no exception. Then we have The Revenant. I bought this because it was the movie where Leo got his first Oscar. I like a lot of this movie. It just hasn't been a movie I've wanted to revisit. Then we have Rocky. This is the 6-movie collection. I just bought this set. I did have a chance to rewatch Rocky. Rocky's a classic, the first one, and then all the sequels. I've seen all of them. I do like pretty much all of them. I remember Rocky 5 wasn't all that good, but it's been forever since I've seen all of them except the first one. Then we have the Sandlot. This is like a classic. We're getting to the S's. I have a ton of S's, so this might take a little while, but we have the Sandlot, absolute classic, like kids coming of age baseball movie, very fun. Then we have Saving Private Ryan, probably my favorite war film of all time, especially my favorite World War II movie. I love this film. It's just amazingly made by Steven Spielberg. It's definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. Then we have the Saw 7-movie collection, and then we also, along with that, we have Jigsaw. Very good stuff. I like the first 2 Saw movies a lot. I like Saw 6. Saw 3 is also pretty good. And overall, I enjoy this franchise a lot. There's just the horror movies I grew up with and that I really enjoy. Then we have Scarface in this kind of simplistic steelbook. Scarface is pretty good. A very fun kind of Al Pacino is really good in the movie. Then we have Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I didn't really get into this movie. It's too much for like teenagers. It just wasn't. I wasn't really a fan of what it went for. I love the original books, but that just wasn't that good. Then we have Scooby-Doo 1 and 2 movie collection. I just bought this set. Scooby-Doo is the first one is amazing. It's not perfect, but it's so much fun. And then I also love Monsters Unleashed. They're just movies I grew up with. I love them. Also, these are written by James Gunn, which is really funny. It's really weird. And then there's a Scream 3-movie collection. This has obviously the 3 Scream movies. The first Scream movie might be my favorite horror movie, and then the 2 sequels are great. Then we have Shazam, good little DCEU movie. Then we have The Shining, Stanley Kubrick classic. This looks amazing on 4K. Jack Nicholson, it's a crime he didn't get nominated for an Oscar. Shining's an amazing movie. Then we have Shivers, a nice little edition of Shivers. This is David Cronenberg's first movie, I believe, and it's the only one I've seen, and I did like it. Then we have Shrek. Aside from our franchise we're gonna talk about in a minute, Shrek is my favorite animated movie of all time. I love it. It's part of my 3rd favorite animated movie, but aside from the movies we'll get to in a second. Then Shrek 2 I also love almost as much. Shrek 3 isn't that good. Shrek 4 is a rebound, but not amazing. But I love these movies. Then moving on, we're gonna have Sicario. Really good Denis Villeneuve movie. I've only seen 2 of his movies and I liked both of them. This one had a crazy ending. Then we're gonna have Signs, M. Night Shyamalan with Mel Gibson, Joaquin Phoenix. Alien Invasion movie, very good. One of his better movies. Then we have Silence of the Lambs, amazing movie. It's awesome that this movie won Best Picture. It's worthy of all the hype. It's a very chilling movie. Then we're gonna have the Sixth Sense, my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film. The twist at the end is just nothing else can compare to it. It's just so good. I absolutely love this movie. Then we have Sling Blade. I haven't opened this yet. It's been years since I've seen it, but I really do like this movie. Billy Bob Thornton is great in it. Just a very good kind of 90s drama. All right, so moving on. Apologies if you can hear the noise outside. It's thundering, so I'm trying to get through this a little quicker so it doesn't get too bad. But anyways, we got Small Soldiers. I haven't opened this one yet. Watched it as a kid, love it. I love the concept of toys coming to life. I'll get to that in a second. But Small Soldiers is great. Then we have the Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3. I love all 3 of these movies. Spider-Man 3 is, it's not perfect, but I really like it. It's one of the first movies I remember seeing in theaters. Spider-Man 2 is great, and then Spider-Man 1 is probably my second favorite superhero film ever. Second to The Dark Knight. I love Spider-Man. I love this trilogy. Some of my favorite stuff ever. Then we have The Amazing Spider-Man as well as Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Amazing Spider-Man, I do need to get Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man's decent, and then this is really, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is really good as well. Then we have Spirit, the Stallion of the Cimarron. I rewatched this recently. It was a movie I grew up with very early. I remember this being one of the first movies I remember liking. It hasn't aged well. It is very enjoyable though. I'm very nostalgic for it. Then we have Split. I really like this movie. Very good M. Night Shyamalan movie. I think I ranked it as my second favorite. I love James McAvoy in this movie. Then we have Stand By Me, absolutely classic 80s coming of age movie. Then we're going to have Star Wars. This is the 6-movie collection. I love Star Wars. I'm going to be ranking the movies soon, or at least at some point, so I don't really want to spoil my opinions on them, but I do enjoy all 6 of these movies. I grew up with the prequel, so I'm very nostalgic for them. And then we have Rogue One. I have not opened this yet, but I have seen it. Then we have, we got New Hope on 4K. I picked this up, I think it was on sale on like Black Friday. Then we have Force Awakens. This is one of the few Blu-rays I've actually pre-ordered. I was really excited to own that after that movie came out. Then we have Last Jedi. And then on 4K, we have Rise of Skywalker. Haven't watched this version of it yet. I haven't actually seen Rise of Skywalker since the theaters. I wasn't a big fan of it. But, you know, I love Star Wars. It's probably my favorite movie franchise of all time. Maybe, but I absolutely love Star Wars. All right, moving on, we got Step Brothers. This was my favorite comedy for a while. Then I finally accepted that it's Dumb and Dumber. But I absolutely love Step Brothers. Then we have Suicide Squad. We just saw the new Suicide Squad movie that's a million times better than this. This movie is not good. Then we have Superbad, a comedy I got into super late, but it's quickly skyrocketed into my top 5 comedies. I love this movie so much. And McLovin, the whole like him buying alcohol scene is absolutely hilarious. Then we have Taxi Driver, Scorsese classic, Robert De Niro, amazing movie. You can definitely see how Joker is similar to it. Then we have Tenet. On 4K, recently bought this Blu-ray. Going the initial watch of it, I was really confused throughout the entire movie, like most people. On the second watch, I was still confused, but I enjoyed it a lot more. Then we have the Terminator. I love the Terminator. One of my favorite action movies ever. I consider it an action movie. I know people call it a horror movie. I think it's an action movie. I love it. Then we have Terminator 2, one of my favorite movies of all time, hands down, probably like top 5, top 10, definitely in there. I love this movie. I've loved it since I was a kid. Just an amazing movie. And then the only other Terminator movie I own on Blu-ray is going to be Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. It's pretty good. It's not terrible. It's not anywhere near as bad as I think some people make it out to be. It's definitely my 3rd favorite Terminator movie, but it's definitely not great. All right, then we have Tombstone. This is a very good Western movie, a modern Western movie, I think from '88 that I really enjoyed. Then we have I reviewed this movie and I watched it for the first time recently. Amazing Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that's just so good. And the 4K looks really good. Then we have the Toy Story 3 movie collection. I love Toy Story. It's my favorite animated franchise. Toy Story 1 and 2 are my 2 favorite animated movies of all time. I just love this franchise to death. This Blu-ray set's like the UK versions. It works fine on my Blu-ray player, but I love these movies. Toy Story 2 is probably my favorite. Then we have Toy Story 4 as well, which I also really liked. Then we have Transformers on Steelbook. I don't like this franchise that much like most people. This is my favorite of the franchise. Then the only other 2 I own are Age of Extinction. I was not a fan of the Mark Wahlberg ones. Age of Extinction is just, it's overly bloated and it's just not that good. And then we have The Last Night, which I also did not like. And then finishing out this pile, we have Troy. One of my favorite movies of all time. I love this movie. It's one of the most underrated movies of all time. I think this movie is exceptional. It's easily in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I love this movie so much. Troy is an amazing film. It's epic. It deserves a 4K release. I love every second of this movie. Heading into the last pile of the Blu-ray collection. Apologies if I look tired. I've been filming for a while. All right, then we have Twister, Poseidon, and Perfect Storm. This natural disaster 3-pack. Twister was decent. Poseidon was terrible. And Perfect Storm I actually really liked. Then we're going to have Unbreakable. Shyamalan's second movie, very good stuff. I really liked it. I love it's really ahead of its time, and I love the concept in that movie. Then we have Unbroken. This is a World War II movie based off the book Unbroken. This is directed by Angelina Jolie. It was pretty good. I didn't love it, but it was pretty good. Then we have Pixar, one of the best Pixar movies aside from Toy Story. This might be my favorite Pixar movie. It's very good. The 4K looks awesome as well. Awesome Pixar movie. Then we have A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas. I think this is the only V I have. The Harold and Kumar movies are always fun. I don't own the other 2 movies, but this is a really good Christmas movie. If you're looking for a new kind of raunchy Christmas movie to get, this is a very good movie. All right, then we have Watchmen. This is the director's cut of Watchmen by Zack Snyder. Watched this for the first time like a year ago, and I loved it. This is an amazing movie. I love it's a great adaptation of the graphic novel, which I have read. It's a very good movie. One of my favorite Snyder movies. Then we have We Were Soldiers, very decent Vietnam War movie, like very mediocre. Then we have Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I've watched this movie twice now. I got into it way late. I grew up with the other one, the Tim Burton one. This one's a million times better. I love it. Gene Wilder is phenomenal in this movie. It's just a very good early 70s movie that holds up so well. I love like the musical stuff in it. Then we have The Witch. This is the Robert Eggers movie. I have not seen The Lighthouse yet, but I really like this movie. I love the kind of the historical immersion in it. It's also just a very messed up, weird horror movie that was really enjoyable. I definitely dug what he went for. Then we have Wolf of Wall Street. One of my favorite Scorsese movies. I do need to rewatch it. It's been a little while since I've seen it, but it's a crime Leo didn't win an Oscar for this. He's so good in this movie. Then we have Wonder Woman. This was my favorite DCEU movie until the Snyder Cut came out. I really liked everything about this movie. Gal Gadot is amazing as Wonder Woman. Then we have World War Z. This is a very old Blu Ray I have. I was really into zombies when I bought this movie. I'm not as big a fan of zombie movies anymore. And Brad Pitt, in this movie, it's very mediocre. It's not terrible. I watched it recently. It's definitely not terrible, but it's not great either. Then we have X-Men Apocalypse. This is the only X-Men movie I own on Blu Ray. I own the rest on DVD. I do need to upgrade them at some point. But this was, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I didn't think it was terrible like some people are making it out to be, but was definitely one of the weaker ones. Then we have Zombieland on Steelbook, a very nice Steelbook of it. I love Zombieland, possibly my favorite zombie movie of all time. We'll get into another one in a second, but I do love this movie. Then we have 8 Mile. It's been years since I've seen this movie, but I did enjoy it when I watched it originally. Then we have 28 Days Later. The other movie I would say is in contention for my favorite zombie movie. I love the score of this movie. I love Cillian Murphy. He's one of my favorite actors. And I love the more realistic take on zombie apocalypse. It's just an amazing movie. Then we have 28 Weeks Later. I watched this for the first time literally like 2 nights ago. Very good stuff. I really enjoyed it. I like, once again, the more realistic take on a zombie apocalypse. Once the score is amazing in this one as well. Very good movie. Not quite as good as 28 Days Later if you ask me, but I liked it. Then we have 30 Days a Night. This is a vampire movie that I really did not enjoy. I watched it last October hoping I would like it, and I just was not a fan of it. For whatever reason, I just couldn't get into it. So that's 30 Days a Night. All right, now getting into the last few movies, we have 127 Hours, a Danny Boyle movie. I watched this for the first time recently. This movie is incredible. I loved every second of it. It's really short, and it packs a lot into this 90 minutes. Very good movie. Then we have 1917, the World War I movie from 2019. This might be my favorite movie of 2019. I loved it. I love every second of this movie. It's amazing. I have not watched the 4K yet, but I really love this movie. All right, now we're getting into the last two. We have a Stanley Kubrick 3-pack. We have The Shining. I already talked about The Shining. I've upgraded that to 4K. Then we have A Clockwork Orange. I really liked A Clockwork Orange for a while. It was my favorite Kubrick film. Now I would say The Shining probably is my favorite Kubrick film. And then we have 2001: A Space Odyssey. Very good stuff. It's definitely, I think it's a little dated, but it is a really good movie. Very interesting and thought-provoking. Then the last movie we have in my complete Blu Ray collection, it's not a good one, and that's going to be 2012, directed by Roland Emmerich. Disaster movie depicting the end of the world. Not a fan of it. Not a great movie. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for my Blu-ray collection. I've been filming for a while. I filmed part 3 and part 4 back to back, so I'm quite tired. I've been filming for like an hour. But anyways, that's going to do it for the Blu-ray collection. I really hope you guys enjoyed. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And just thank you so much for watching and sticking around to the end of this thing. And thank you so much, and have a great day.